When it's time to begin your application, open up the PCI mobile app and select Online Application. We'll first check to make sure that we're available to process, and then next you'll see the instructions. A customer's photo ID is required for all new applications, and this process will have you take a photo of your customer's ID. This process also requires that your customer have an email address, and you have to be connected to a reliable data connection, such as Wi-Fi or cell service. If everything is set, hit start, and we'll begin by having you enter in some information about your sale. By selecting Continue, you'll be brought to fill in your amount financed, monthly due date, down payment amount and method, and if there are any promotional options. Next, you'll select if there's a co-applicant, and if there is, you'll indicate whether that's a spouse or someone other than a spouse. If it's a spouse, you'll then indicate if they're a joint applicant for credit or simply providing additional income. These selections will drive the questions that are asked throughout the rest of the application. Next, indicate if your customer will be on autopay, and if they are, if you'd like to enter that information in now. If you do choose to enter it in now, you'll be presented with a screen to capture that information. The final step for account details is to verify the identity of your applicant. Start by selecting from the drop-down list the way that you verified their identity, and then next take a picture of their driver's license. If you're completing a virtual sale, please have your customer hold their driver's license or other photo ID up to their camera and take a photo of your computer screen so that you can send that in. The next step in the process is your primary applicant information. At this point in a conventional sale, you can pass your phone or other device off to the customer to fill in the application themselves, or you can interview the customer to obtain the information and enter it in yourself. In a virtual sale, you'll do the interview style. Select Continue, and then proceed through like a standard paper application, filling out their basic information like their name, address, social, date of birth. You'll enter in their contact information, as well as their address. On the next screen, you'll enter housing, banking, employment, and income information. If your customer has additional sources of income, such as child support, a second job, you can select yes and fill in those details. Otherwise, select no and then select next. The next step is to obtain the primary applicant's review and signature. At this point in a conventional sale, if you haven't already passed your device to the customer, you would do so as they need to complete these screens. Select Continue, and the applicant will review to make sure all their information is accurate. They'll select Edit Info if it is not. If everything looks good, select Next. Next, you'll progress through each of our disclosures. And then finally, you'll have the agreement to apply for credit and open an account. If you're in a virtual sale, you will need to obtain verbal authorization for your customer to sign on their behalf and read this entire disclosure to your customer. Finally, the customer will enter their name, or you will enter it for them in a virtual sale once you've obtained their authorization to do so. The next step is our second applicant information. Now, depending on if you have a second applicant or the type, these steps may vary, so follow the prompts on the screen. In this case, we have an income-only second applicant, so we'll begin by obtaining that information. Much like your first applicant, you may pass your device to that applicant, or you may interview them for these questions and enter it in yourself. You'll see here we're just getting some basic information because this is just an income-only second applicant. Again, follow the prompts on the screen. Because this is an income-only second applicant, there's no need for them to review or sign, but in some cases you will need to do that. So in this example, the final step is to hit submit. And then once you hit submit, you just want to watch for the success message that lets you know that the application was successfully submitted. From there, we will process that application and then we'll call back the consultant who submitted it to let them know the decision and to offer to verify with the customer if it was approved.